Wow, what a game. That's like, I don't know how else to start this. It was, obviously this is the post-game coverage for New Era Sens with Jack and Jacob. And we played the Toronto Maple Leafs, who came into this game first in the league. We came into it last in the league. And halfway through the game, it was 5-1.
Yeah. The league thing is the best way to paint the picture. This wasn't, you come in like, first in the Canadian division, last in the Canadian division. This is record-wise first place and dead last in the entire NHL.
Yeah. And a lot of their offense, fourth in the league, ours last.
The first 40 minutes, completely indicative of where they were in the standings. Like the Sens had no place in this game. It wasn't like all the other blowouts that we've seen before where they're losing. It was they weren't even getting any chances. It was just pretty. The only highlight was that Stützle-Batherson goal, and that was it.
Yeah, right. For the first half.
Oh my God, though, I don't even want to talk about the first bit of the game. I just want to talk about how the only thing I want to mention in that first bit is how I love Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro, but they couldn't stop talking about Austin Matthews and all that, which is fine, right? It makes sense. They're winning that much, and he had 3 points or whatever. He looked great.
Yeah.
But a minute later, Nick Paul, what a goal! What a big goal! And I'm speechless. I don't even know what to.
Yeah, that was one of the best efforts that I've seen from any Senator yet this year.
In the third.
No, Nick Paul on that goal.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the best individual efforts that I have seen this year.
Yeah.
I assume most of you've seen it, but if you didn't, they were shorthanded. They dumped it into the corner into Toronto's end, and Nick Paul just didn't want to give it up. He went in after it. I think it was Morgan Riley that he took it from, and then got it to Watson, and Watson took the shot and got the rebound, and Paul was still right there.
It was Tavares who put it on Watson's stick. He kind of flubbed the pass, and then Watson intercepted it. Yeah, because you could see Tavares, who's pissed after it, and man, if you're the Leafs going to the room after that game, it's you're not that pissed because you got a 3-goal lead, right?
Yeah.
Anderson didn't look great throughout the entire game, and he definitely wasn't great at the end. But the goals that he let in were a little soft, I'd say. Yeah. Excuse me, I have no voice right now. I was just screaming.
I don't either.
But I mean, you're still confident going in, right? Because you've held majority of the play.
Yeah.
But this is the best comeback I've seen an Ottawa Senators team have in my life.
Yeah, and I just messaged the group chat I'm in, and I said, I think that this felt like a 2017 playoff game in the second half. I was just that into it and that excited.
I tweeted out when we said we were going live here, I said this was the best game since 2017.
Yeah. And
I'm just ecstatic about it. It's just the perfect opponent for it too, I have a group chat with a bunch of my friends and from high school and stuff, and a couple Leafs fans and a couple Sens fans in there. So when Matthews scored the second one there to make it 5-1, one of the Leafs fans sent a picture of Matthews' face, and then now it's just like we're all just it's awesome to see, and it reminds me of when the teams were competitive and stuff, which is awesome, but couldn't come to against a better opponent either. I think that's the big part about this game. I think you're muted, man. You're muted.
Right. Again. Sorry. Yeah, I love that it's against Toronto.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we can just kind of get into the goals real quick. Starting off, Drake Batherson. That was what I expect of Drake Batherson. He hasn't been doing that yet this season, but that was a beautiful backhand.
It's like the games in Edmonton where Stützle scored, where it was just blowouts, but you're just happy because Stützle put one on there.
Yeah,
it was feeling like that when it ended up being 5-1. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Batherson got the monkey off his back. We'll build on that for next game.
Yeah.
But it was a great play by Stützle. He just grabs it in the air, puts it down, a little drop pass to Batherson, and then he did the rest of the work. But Anderson definitely should have had that one, but it's one of those games, I guess, where you don't run into a hot goalie again. Or not even a hot goalie, but just a goalie who's in the zone, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so at that point, this comment here, just out of curiosity, what was your mood when the Leafs were up 5-1? I'm with you. Almost broke the TV.
Yeah.
Was so not excited to do this because I thought it was going to be an 8-1 game, 9-1 game.
Yeah.
But like, just what a game. I just can't get over it.
So mine was Derek Lee, our recent guest. If I don't know if anyone was tuning into that one as well, but he tweeted when it was 4-1, he made the good old joke like it's 4-1 right where you want the Leafs, right? Just based on the 2013 explosion or implosion, I guess, in the playoffs. And I retweeted it and I'm thinking, haha, it's funny. And then they make it 5-1. And I guess 5-1 is the new 4-1, right? It has to be.
It's got to be.
Oh.
Just I can't believe that they choked it. Like, and of all teams.
That's an epic. I want to get into that later because I will. It's just so. I hope they get blasted for this.
Yeah, I'd love to have Steve Dangle on here right now.
Yeah, I want to see his reaction to this.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Anyway, so we can move on to the next goal. Nick Paul at the end of the second, shorthanded, less than a minute left. Just gorgeous goal. So much effort there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already kind of highlighted that one. But yeah, great goal.
It was a Nick Paul classic. Just
grind.
Bringing the heat. He's been the same every game, but it's at a high level, so it's so noticeable all the time.
Yeah.
He's just so on the puck and very strong on it, which is great. He got rewarded for it too, which is awesome.
Yeah, and he has been all season. Like he deserves everything he's gotten so far. And speaking of deserving, what a goal Zub had right out of the box.
Oh my god. So, like I said for the Batherson one, sorry, my voice keeps. I was yelling so much. The Zub, it's one of those. How many times have you been watching? I can't remember the last time I saw an out of the penalty box goal. But how many times are you watching? Like, oh, if they get it, if it was 1 second earlier, it's a breakaway, right?
Really, that was perfect.
I was on my phone and I look up and I think it was Tierney, I want to say, who passed it up to him.
Yeah,
and he goes and I'm looking like, oh, he's passing. Oh, and I forgot who was in the box for a sec. And as soon as they put Zub on the breakaway, I went right to Twitter because I knew that there was going to be an opportunity one way or the other. Scored, and it was so funny to watch everyone just acting the same way. At that point, you're not even considering, oh, they might even come back, right? You're just thinking, oh, Zub just scored on a breakaway, and it was beautiful, by the way, right?
Yeah, it was
not just a squeaker; it was a full-on like shake Anderson out of the way and go around him kind of move, and that was so fun to watch. Just a lot of highlights in this game, or in the last, we'll say 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that 25 minutes was just incredible. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. What was the next one? Oh my god. Okay, so I'll segue into the next goal. So then it's a bit of a back and forth, I guess, and then Shabbat gets a stick right in the face again. Yep. And when I saw the play happen in real time, I thought that Hyman got his knee twisted or something by the way he was reacting. Yeah. And then I see, Shabbat, they got a penalty. And then they go on the replay and it wasn't just a high stick, it was a follow through. He almost it was brutal.
It was almost a spear up towards the nose.
I think he was bleeding through both nostrils.
Yeah, he was.
Not just a nosebleed, right? And so you're going, okay, now they've got a 4-minute power play. And I don't want to be over dramatic.
I don't think you can be here.
Game. But this was a crazy game. But that might have been the worst power play I've seen since 2017.
That might be the worst 4-minute power play I've ever seen.
It was
took
just
a minute and
no
a half
possession.
for Ottawa to get any offensive zone possession.
And then they had it passed around a couple times, and then it was a giveaway, Yeah. And I'm not, love Stützle. He's young. He's going to make mistakes. He had that one shift where he's going around and he made two. I think he was on a 2-on-1 and he could have backhanded it or something. And he peels away, passes, gives it away, goes back in his own end, gives it away again.
Yeah.
So it was just bad. So then you're thinking, okay, this game's done. The Leafs are going to put this away. And I think that the underrated star of this period was Marcus Hogberg.
100%.
And the overtime, because he made some fantastic saves.
Yep.
In that stretch. And most notably in overtime for sure. Like Marner was in alone a couple
Yeah.
times. Oh man, that's when I think it hit. Oh, we'll get to overtime later, and I'll bring it up. But
So, yeah.
bad power
So,
play. But then it was not a power play goal, but it was right at the end.
no, he wasn't even in the zone yet. He was just getting out of the box.
Yeah. So pretty much still an odd man, like not an even strength goal, but Colin White again, a nice feed. Look at I don't know what the team standings are in points. I'm sure it'll change a lot after tonight, but because put up 6 goals for the first time all season, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
The pass by White, it's one of those ones where you're saying, "Oh my God, shoot it!" But
yeah,
when it's that tight, it seems so tight when you're making the pass, but that changes the angle so much for the goalie, and especially it's a one-timer from Brown. It's a great shot and a great pass by him, and then you're thinking, wow, there's life, because there was a lot of time left when he scored that.
Yeah, there was.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point that I was like, okay, this might be a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that was exactly the point that I said it to, because 5-2, it seems like you're out of it. 5-3, you only need 1 goal, and then it's a 1-goal game. Like
exactly.
You're right there.
And then you make it 5-3, and it's like 2-goal lead is the worst in hockey, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the momentum thing, and even with no fans, you could see the momentum in that game, and the Leafs. Not going to say it yet, but we'll talk about it soon. Just the collapsing of it all, but so my dad wasn't watching with me, but then he came down for the third, just cause I think, and he came down right when Zub scored on the breakaway. So it's like, it's a good game to watch. Excuse me. And then when they took that timeout, I think it was an icing call, with 3 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes left. I want to say it was right. And I said, I'm like, he's got to take a timeout and pull the goalie here, because your offensive players are tired, and you pull the goalie right now for sure.
Yeah.
So that was exactly what he did. It was a bit delayed, but I'm glad he did it, and it was perfect because, like we said, we're a face-off friendly show. They won the face-off, right? And they got that.
And Derek Stepan won that face-off.
Yes, and the key thing about that, Gord Miller decided to. So another thing about face-offs is they'll put up like the player who's going in, like their stats for the night.
Yeah.
It'll be like, let's say Josh Norris is 3 for 4 tonight. I swear, every time they put up that stat on the scoreboard, then that player loses that next face-off that's coming up.
Yeah.
So Gord Miller decides to go step on at 49% this season. Never been above 50% in a season.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, oh my God, why is he out there taking probably the most important face-off that he's taken this season?
Yep.
But it's kind of like a reverse thing. He said he's never been good at face-offs, and then he wins it. That was good. And I think I got so much to say. I think that play, it doesn't happen without Norris, because I don't know if you noticed, like on the replay, they got the slow motion going. So it goes over to Norris, and he's looking at Shabbat, and then he shoots.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right, and then I think it goes off Kachuk, and then I didn't even realize that Dadonov batted it out of the air.
I thought it was Kachuk, and I tweeted out, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and I tweeted it like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I saw, and you're thinking, just get it to the net, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I jumped off my couch and yelled.
Yeah,
and
same.
Yeah, my girlfriend and baby were sitting right here, and he's just getting ready to go to sleep, and I apologize.
Yeah, we have not the same, but we have an 8-month-old puppy.
Yeah,
and she was kind of riled up a little bit because we were starting to cheer a little bit, and then when that goal happened, she just starts going nuts, and then the overtime one was even worse. But it's funny.
Yeah,
I think, and so then. There's 2 minutes left. They scored with 2 minutes left. There's a lot of time, and the Leafs had better chances in those 2 minutes for sure.
Yeah, they did. I was very worried.
Yeah, me too. And Hogberg, he made a couple good saves, but also there were some lucky, like the bounces didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And then in your head, you're thinking, okay, you know what? Like the Leafs have so much skill. There's no way they don't win in overtime, right?
I know, and it's 3v3 or 3-on-3. So
the amount of ice available for a guy like Marner was all over the place in overtime, and I can't believe he didn't score. But players like Yeah, I just can't. I can't. I was like, okay, I'm happy with the point. You'll take the point. That's just a team. That's as good as a win as you're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
Or as close to a win as you can get for a team like Ottawa. And then, yeah, you wanna lead into that overtime goal, I guess.
Yeah. So it was. What a sequence! Like it started off in Ottawa's end. I think it was Matthews took a shot and it took a weird bounce off of Hogberg, and it went right out front to Marner, and there was just a dog pile in the crease.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch the replay for that. I don't know how it didn't go in, but it didn't. And then I'm not sure what, like, because that was an unassisted goal, so I'm not really sure how he got it through everybody.
It was unassisted?
Yeah, that's what NHL app is saying right now.
Hold on. I'll go on the score because it went Nick Paul, he dropped it to Chabot, and then Chabot hit it up.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought Chabot passed it up. Oh
yeah, I got assisted by Nick Paul and Thomas Chabot on the score.
Okay, mine must not have updated yet. Oh yeah, it still says it's 5-4. Weird.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, it was just great passing play to get out of the zone. And like I think Toronto was thinking of going for a change, and they were just kind of all hovering the blue line. And Dadonov and Paul were just open in the middle of the ice. So Chabot tipped it up to Paul. Paul tipped it up the middle of the ice to Dadonov, and it was a breakaway from center ice. He wasn't going to screw that up.
So Dadonov did the smart thing about, so I think the play actually, it was Paul who brought it up, and then he could have sent it ahead for Dadonov to skate into, but he definitely dropped it back to Chabot, and then Chabot sent it for Dadonov, I think. Or maybe it was Paul to Chabot, Chabot to Paul, and then to Dadonov. But Chabot was involved in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a smart play by Dadonov because he definitely had the most speed out of anyone out there, like in that one rush. So it was smart for him to poke it ahead to be able to skate into it instead of hanging on to it and risk a stick check. And so this is the first. So Dadonov is red hot right now too, right?
5-5.
This is what you signed him for. He's six goals now on the season because he got 2 tonight.
Yep.
This is what you signed him for, right? So that he's so hot that when he was on that breakaway, I'm like, he's scoring. Like he's scoring on this. He's gonna score a goal, and it's nice having that feeling. He's that finisher. When they're hot, they're hot.
Yeah, and this whole team is kind of buzzing right now. Like that's 2 wins in a row for the first time this season. Like that's only our 4th win in 17 games.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to see. Like I haven't felt as good about watching Ottawa yet this season.
Me neither.
So I don't know. I feel totally different about this team after these last 2 games. I
wouldn't even. So if you're a DJ and you go in that room, obviously just celebrate. But tomorrow at practice, because they got 2 more games against this team. You're not moving on yet, right? And you can bet that they're going to come out hard on Wednesday for sure.
Oh yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if DJ is in the media or whatever, is at least tomorrow for sure is going to be like talking about how they need to be better, and obviously they do. I really hope Matt Murray can play on Wednesday.
That would be good.
Yeah, and same with Brandstrom. That'd be a big boost, I think, back there. Take Riley out. He had a tough night tonight.
Yeah, he did. He did make a good block in overtime on that last play.
Yes, true.
He unofficially gets the assist from me. Yeah, that was a good block in that overtime, but otherwise he was pretty liable tonight, I guess.
Yeah, he had a couple. That 5-on-3, like I don't know why you're going to the guy in the corner and leaving Austin Matthews alone in front. But
of all people,
right?
Like, it's not like it's Pierre Engvall out front.
Yeah. But man, I need to say something about the Leafs. That is. So, I tweeted this a couple times. Like I felt like I was watching the Leafs broadcast tonight, right?
Yeah.
And it's all high and mighty. This is the highest that they've been since in the Matthews era, which is when things have started to turn around, right?
Yeah.
Joe Thornton's back in the lineup. He's got 2 goals tonight. He's got a goal and an assist or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's all high and mighty. Like the top 6 the top line is having a great time. In the intermission, the second intermission, they're talking like, oh, Matthews is happier when Thornton scores a goal than when he scores one himself. So they just lost. We all as Sens fans, we obviously know that the Sens record isn't indicative of the way they're playing.
Yeah.
Right. But there are a few people, and I'm going based off Twitter pretty much.
Yeah.
There are people who are Toronto-based reporters who have been they'll tune into a Sens game or not even tune in, just look at the numbers and be like, oh, this, and they're saying this has the potential to be the worst team in history.
Yeah.
Right. You can lose a game here and there to the worst team in the expansion era, let's say. You can lose a game here and here, like that's not the end of the world for a Stanley Cup contending team. You have your off nights. This highlights more of an internal problem, in my opinion, because no chance that can happen. Like, it's not blowing a 2-0 lead. It's not blowing a 4-0 lead. It's a 5-1 hockey game going right at the end of the second. Give up one. It's 5-2 going into the third. And this is not just the worst team, but they're the worst offensively in the league too, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And
like we have highlights. Like we have Dadonov, who's buzzing right now. We have Brady Tkachuk, who leads the league in shots. Josh Norris, who's been pretty steady. Tim Stutzel, who's been steady. But we don't have Tavares, Marner, Matthews, and Nylander.
No.
And they just blew a 5-1 lead.
And we're also not paying $40 million on 4 forwards.
Yeah.
Right? And to be fair, I mean, they got it done. They had 5 goals tonight. I think this is more on Anderson than any of the other Leafs.
I
But
agree.
You're the captain, John Tavares, and you see the game get to 5-3. You have to be able to go out there and make a difference. And this is why I think Tkachuk is going to be a perfect captain when he's named captain, because I think he should be. And I think you're in agreement with me on that one too.
Yep. Before the end of the season.
Yeah. Honestly, why not? What do they have to lose, right? I think it'll come with the extension, but the fight with Muzzin, not that things shifted right after it, but it just shows like we're not going away. Like we're not going to keel over here, you know. And it actually pays off this time. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a Sens game, and we're 4-12-1. Like, this is a terrible record, right?
Yeah,
they're going nowhere except for maybe 6th in the division if the stars align.
Yeah,
but oh boy,
that's the thing. This division was built for Ottawa to come last. Nobody expected Ottawa to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think this team is capable of it if they had their stuff together right at the beginning of the season. Competent goaltending. Like, this team is capable of it, just not the expectations for them. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't have the stats in front of me.
I do right here.
You got, what was Hogberg's save percentage in the end?
I'm just gonna open this up here.
Okay, perfect.
Hogberg ended with only an .868.
Perfect.
But that's not even bad.
No, the third period he was phenomenal. But it just, I think I might even be able to count them. There was the one game against Toronto. Like, I'm trying to count games where they have a save percentage over 900. So there's the one game against Toronto with Murray, like the second game of the year.
Yep.
And then they went on a streak where they didn't have one, and then that game in Montreal over 900.
Yep.
Another game against Montreal over 900, and then it was the Jets game next, right?
Then it was 2 against Edmonton that were also both over 900.
Right. Okay, so they had a good stretch, and then Murray dipped a little. Regardless, you can probably count on one hand, like maybe 6 times in 14 games where they've had a save percentage over 900.
Yeah.
And the results in those 6 games have been like a close game in this team. Like, they're right there.
Yeah.
This is the game where I was expecting a lot more of these games this season, like shootouts, pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially against Vancouver, they had really good goaltending, but I was expecting a little bit more of this. So maybe next time they play them. But I've been saying it, like it's not like a it's not a world-beating team. Like, I don't even know if it's a playoff team, but when they get competent goaltending, they're far from the basement of the league, in my opinion.
And that's the thing. If this wasn't a strictly North Division, that's all we're playing,
Yeah.
We're probably 20th in the league to 23rd, probably.
Right. And how many shots did we have tonight?
We finished with. My NHL app still isn't updated.
You should be able to. You could just check on this thing. Does it have the Leafs stats? Oh, you gotta
It doesn't. 31. My app just updated.
31. Okay, so if Anderson makes, I don't know, 29 saves, less than 2 goals, this looks like a dominant game by the Leafs, but it's not, and that's what goaltending gets you, right? You could put up 5, and you could put up 5 and still look like a terrible hockey team. So you need goaltending. It comes down to that, and boy.
Yeah, it's certainly been a story for the North Division.
Mm-hmm.
Hogberg looked good. I don't even blame him for all the goals. He didn't have a team in front of him for the first half of the game.
No, I agree.
So we can move into forwards here. I mean, Tim Stützle leading the forward group in ice time with almost 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
That's crazy.
Brady almost 17. He was in the box for 5 minutes, including that power play that Stützle was on for 2 minutes. So pretty much evens out there.
Mm-hmm.
But love seeing Stützle play that much. Derek Stepan's a little high, but he didn't look terrible tonight.
He was all right. He did
have that one goal. I think it was Matthews' second goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think his controller died.
That was the controller die play? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. Yikes. Yeah, he was gliding from probably the blue line to Matthews right out front. Didn't put one stride in, and it hurt to look at a little bit.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game, not that bad at to step on. 60% on the draws.
So great. I got one thing or 2 things. So the bottom 3 there, you see Tierney, Anisimov, Watson.
Yeah.
The only 3 guys who are negatives tonight, who were minus. That's good that they're at the bottom tier of ice time. Other thing that I noticed is look at Josh Norris's face-offs.
I know, 9 out of 11 face-offs.
Come on.
Perfect.
That's as a rookie.
And he was very, very close to being, or very quickly, he was on the first line with Tkachuk again.
He was with, they put him with Stützle and Batherson for a bit.
They did too, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
Yeah.
But I like that line together.
82% on the face-off against John Tavares and Austin Matthews.
Come on. You can't ask for
top centers in the league.
Yeah. And it's not a small sample. That's 11 face-off. That's a lot.
Yeah. So that's perfect. Nick Paul, 18 minutes. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season that we would be happy about that?
A goal and an assist?
Yeah. Just perfect. This team played so well tonight
Let's go to defense.
Once they started playing well.
Zub. Wow. 12 minutes.
Looked great all night.
Get him out there more.
Yeah.
I want to see Zub and or Zub and Brandstrom together.
Yeah, that'll make a really good pairing. I want to see Zub play with Shabbat, and then
eventually,
and then have Brandstrom and Goodbranson maybe.
But hey, Zaitsev wasn't bad again.
He really wasn't. I keep saying Zaitsev should third line, second line. He hasn't played bad, and it's just so easy to say move Zaitsev down because he's Zaitsev. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right.
The comfort
he looked good.
The comfort for Shabbat, I think, is important.
Yeah.
And I think Shabbat, he's not being flashy anymore, but he's making the plays when you need him to.
Yeah.
This is another good game for him. I thought didn't make any glaring mistakes. I'm really interested to see the next 2 games. I think the Sens are going to come out. I think Wednesday's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
They're going to come out flying like they have to.
Yeah. And this was such a good offensive performance and such a quick team, at least in the second half. When I say that, I'm just talking about the second half.
Yeah.
We're adding Ryan Dzingel next week.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really underrated addition for this team.
Yeah.
So, that's just another quick winger.
So someone was saying he plays right wing, and I was a little confused. I guess he can play left. He shoots left.
Yeah.
So you got on the left side, you got Kachuk, Stützle, Nick Paul, and then Anisimov right now. So Anisimov is obviously the one who would come out, but it's a deep left side, so you don't want Dzingel playing on the fourth line. You'd want him moving up a little bit. So right wing might be his spot.
Yeah, and I think he's listed as a center on most websites.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's ever taken a face-off. Like
no. I mean, even on the right side, it's Batherson, Brown, and Dadonov, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where he's gonna slide in, but it is a pretty long way away for him to.
Yeah, I mean, we're still 2 weeks today, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's weird this year trades because you got to think 2 weeks in advance. Who knows where this team's going to be in 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And to think, like, we still have, including that center depth or winger depth that we were just mentioning, we still have Formanton, who's a very speedy winger.
Yeah.
Abramov, who can come up.
Yep.
And then just on the taxi squad and that have been here, we have Pekka, Haley, and Anisimov that have been in and out.
Yep.
Like, we just have an abundance of everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's you feel like they're a super deep team, but Dzingel's going to bring goals. So if someone's not producing, DJ shouldn't hesitate to take him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got for the game, man. I can't wait to go on Twitter. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm missing it right now.
I'm gonna go on the Leafs Twitter and just see the implosion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's back-to-back losses for them too.
It is too.
They lost against Montreal in the last one.
Wow, that's gotta be
trouble in paradise. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have as well. So if you don't have anything else to add,
that's it. With the game, we could do 3 stars. I guess.
So you can jump into yours first if you like.
Man, it's tough to pick someone who's not a star.
Yeah.
In the after, like everyone was so great. I'm gonna go number 3. I'm gonna go Marcus Hogberg.
Yep.
Because that third doesn't happen if he doesn't make a couple saves. Put the first. Not that any of the goals. I think someone commented it, but not that any of the goals were on him. But it's just you need a save every now and then, obviously, right?
Yeah.
There's that might be close to my stars actually.
Yeah, natty.
I'm not going Paul at second. I'm gonna go. I've got someone else in mind. I'm gonna go Stützle because he was flying all game. He had it in the first, and that's why he's leading the team in ice time. This is a 19-year-old who led an NHL team in ice time. That's not common. Like that's crazy. Yep. Or not or forward. Sorry, he led the forwards in ice time. So good for him. I got Stützle second. Great assist to Batherson. I really wanted him to score in overtime. He was so close. He hit the stick. He hit Anderson's the knob or something.
Yeah.
Twitter would have erupted if it was him.
Oh, I jumped out of the couch.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was in. And then first, I gotta go with Dadonov. That's a given. 2 goals. That's what you pay him here. That's why he's here. And that second, that tying one, we didn't really talk about it, but he bats it out of midair.
Yeah,
that's a bounce. Talk about a bounce that they needed.
Yeah, and that's again for the 3rd game in a row. I think I've said this. That's his $5 million contract playing.
Absolutely.
So it's good to see him earning it again.
Yeah, for sure. So I got Dadonov, Stützle, and Hogberg.
Yeah. So Dadonov's my first star as well. I'll kind of go from the top down. Mm-hmm. Dadonov, everything you just said, excellent game. Ties it right at the end and then ends the game in overtime. And both skilled goals. Like he had his first 3 were lucky bounces, but these have all been skill lately. So 100% Dadonov. My second star, I'm also going to go Stützle. I said that in the first period. He was going to be my first star until Dadonov scored those 2.
Yeah. If they didn't come back, he would have been mine, I think, too. Yeah,
he was just, like you said, buzzing all game. Just legs were there and so many chances. I don't know. He only had 3 shots on goal, but it felt like he had about 7.
Definitely one of his better games. I'd be interested to see his analytics or whatever, but he had the puck on his stick a lot tonight for sure.
Yeah.
And this is a big stage for him.
Yeah, really though. And then my third star, I will go Nick Paul. I'll agree with Natty here. Nick Paul, that goal is just such a perfect goal. And if he's going to be our future, realistically, probably on the third line, if he's with this team long term,
for sure,
that is incredible because he's great defensively. And then that is exactly what you want to see on a penalty kill.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I want to give an honorable mention to Zub because what a goal! Like he's so great because he's so steady. He makes the right play with the puck, but he doesn't have that offensive flair because you don't need it as a defenseman. But that was like a silky goal. It was a goal scorer's goal, which is crazy. So I bet the boys were loving that. I think that the forwards, I'm thinking about lines right now, like the top three lines. So you go, I think Tkachuk and Brown are good together. I don't like Tierney with them.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Tkachuk, Brown, and then whoever at center.
Norris
ideally, but then I'll get into then Stützle, Stepan, and Batherson. I don't like Stepan there long term. I don't know who fits in there, but that's also a long term fit. Those two, Stützle and Batherson, anyways. Yeah. And then Paul White and Dadonov are fantastic together.
That I don't want to see that not a line. Like I want that line to be together for the rest of the season.
I wouldn't mind Tierney on either of those lines, or Norris on either of those lines.
Yeah,
but I don't want to see. I don't like Tierney at all. I've had beef with him. I think since the whole trade. He's done his job, I guess. But even tonight, he just looked like he wasn't skating. He wasn't trying.
Yeah, he had a few good shots, a few good chances, but he wasn't putting the effort in. So
it looked like it, which is you don't want to see. But that would. I don't know who the option is though. I mean, Logan Brown hasn't exactly impressed. I don't think so far in Belleville in 2 games.
No.
So I don't know what the fit would be. Obviously, if Stützle moves to the middle full time, it changes everything.
Yeah,
and then you get room for a guy like Dzingel.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I would like to see Stützle go to the center and Dzingel, Stützle, Batherson. Mm-hmm. That would be an incredibly offensive line.
Yeah, I guess we could do who needs to be better. I don't really know. Go Mike Riley.
Yep.
I guess he had a tough 40 minutes. But this was a bad game for him in the last 7 or whatever. He's been playing pretty well, so
he really has been, and I hate to say it, but he has.
Yeah. That's my guy.
I can't even think of anybody.
It's hard.
I might say Tierney. I don't expect him to be much better, but he just wasn't there tonight. He's had some better games this season, but overall, like, well put together team. Played really well. So
definitely.
Well, thank you everybody for coming to join us. This has been one awesome episode that I've been happy to do. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next.